2, 1.
Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. 815.
I'm pretty sure about this, Tom, pretty much because of yearbooks. It's more than likely that all of your past teachers have a photo of you in their house. I'm Greg. He's Tom. This is your In Crowd 815 podcast for the 21st day of February, the year 2026, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind. And yeah, next to mine, it says, stay cool. Have a great summer. Did you ever write stay cool? Really? Like,
sure.
I'm just all of a sudden going to become a jerk? I'm just going to start wearing, plaid shorts with sandals and brown socks.
Never change. Stay cool.
I'm wearing plaid shorts this morning. You can't do it. I'll break the hip if I do that.
We'll always be friends.
Knocked my table over. Yeah, we'll always be friends. Hope to see you next year. Well, I'm not planning on dying, are you? I think we'll be okay.
I'm not coming back to school. I'm a senior. Remember, I'm graduating.
It's only going to be a 3-month separation. I am not going off to the military for 4 years.
We have a show and a good one set for you and the person still sleeping next to you. Maybe give them a little nudge and say, wake up. Tom and Greg are talking. Might have something interesting to say. We're going to learn about kids around the world, and we're going to learn about current mortgage situation with our friend Jess Rielly at Envoy Mortgage, one of our sponsors for the next masked karaoke trivia contest, which I got a big announcement today, Tom. A big announcement.
Uh-oh. I got big ears. Lay it on me, brother.
The $7,000 grand prize is now going to be competed for by 8 teams. We have room for 12, so there's still room for 4 more to sign up, but we had our 8th team sign up this week. And so that means the window's closing. The window is closing, and once it's closed, once 12 are signed up, we are done. We cannot have.
All right, so important question here. I can't win the trivia portion because I know all the answers because I made them.
Yep.
But what if I could sing? Could I win the karaoke portion?
Could Tom be a wild card karaoke entrant for your team if if you needed a singer at last minute? And that answer is no.
I was going to say, we've already gone too far with this. You don't want me singing in your team. Actually, I think I got a pretty good voice, but hey.
I will say this: when we developed this contest almost 2 years ago, part of the development of this contest, the masked karaoke trivia contest, was developing a contest that I would want to be a part of. And this year, this contest more than ever, I wish I could be on a team. I would love to be singing and helping with the trivia on some team this time, because this one's going to be special. A $7,000 grand prize to the winning team, courtesy of Medicare 411. Thanks to Tracy and her team at Medicare 411 for being our major sponsor for this contest. And then we also have 2 $1,000 prizes. The top scoring trivia team that does not win the grand prize wins $1,000 for their chosen not-for-profit, courtesy of Jess Rielly from Envoy Mortgage, who's our guest today. We're going to talk with her about that. And then we also have a $1,000 karaoke prize for the top scoring karaoke team that doesn't win the grand prize. That one is courtesy of our friends over at Advice Marketing. Thank you to Lisa and Amy and their team at Advice Marketing for seeing the vision, catching the vision of what this contest is, what this does, and how much fun this is every time we do it. This is version 4.0, by the way. Yes, version 4.0 of the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. And we're very, very excited about what's going to happen March 19th at Tabala. It's a 7 p.m. Start time, 6 p.m. doors. Come on out. If you do not want to be on a team, but you still want to be a part of the excitement of it all, audience tickets are on sale now for half price. A limited quantity of tickets are going out for half price, so you can get in for only $10. $10 to be in the audience. Play the trivia vicariously on the side. Cheer on your favorite karaoke singers while they sing, and be there for the excitement when we find out who wins at the end of the night. It's going to be really, really fun. So $10 while they last. Go to incrowd815.com for information on that. All right, we got to get to our guests. Before that, let's take care of this business. Tom was the winner of our last race to 10. He's up 1-0 on this one right now. And our big number of the week this week is, where'd you go? It's right here. 150,000. And the
You sounded
answer,
like Christopher Walken there. 150,000.
is the cowbell on the planets or the cowbell with the pilots? Where's the cowbell?
We gotta have more cowbell.
Planets or pilots is the answer. Put your guess in the comments. Maybe you'll win a t-shirt or a gift card or something. That's all you're doing. You're guessing planets or you're guessing pilots. And if you really, really feel like the Google machine can help you, do a quick search for planets, 150,000. Do a quick search for pilots, 150,000, and see if you can find the answer. You might be able to find the answer. This might be a Googleable answer this week.
I don't do that. So
I know you don't. You already gave me your answer, right?
I haven't. I'm doing it now. I'm figuring out which juju to go with here. I did. It's working. My brain is working. It's working. What do you think, big guy? Okay. All right. He has spoken. He doesn't even have a name yet. So.
All right. Well, let's get to our guests. I told him I'd bring him on by this time, and it's time to do that. Our first guests today, Rockford, our next guests are leading an organization that started right here in our backyard and has since built, well over 1,000 playgrounds and served over 100 million meals all across the globe. These are leaders who understand that a child's smile is the best return on investment that you can possibly get. We got Brian and we got Gabe from Kids Around the World joining us on the screen now. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the In Crowd 815 podcast.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you both in Rockford today? Are you joining us from the 815?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Brian, you're muted, bud.
There you go.
Yep. Sorry about that.
We want to hear you. That's part of the That's part of the deal. That's what you signed up for.
Now we got to start the whole thing over again. Fortunately, we were only a minute in.
It can't be the first time.
No.
Well, I get muted all the time. I've been married for 40 years, so hey.
That's how that works.
Understandable.
Let's start with you, Brian. We want to learn about you real quick. Where did you grow up and go to school? Are you a native Rockfordian or did you move here from elsewhere?
No, I'm a Rockford lifer. Grew up here in the area. I went to Boylan High School. And then after graduating Boylan, I went to Illinois State University.
Redbirds.
And yeah, go Redbirds.
Yep. Almost won the Division II championship. I watched that game. It was
that was a heartbreaker. It really was, but it was such a great game.
It was, but it was so disappointing. Come on.
Well, cool. Let's talk about the real thing. A cooler mascot, a Titan or a Redbird? Let's discuss.
They're both pretty cool.
They're both pretty cool. I admit. I don't know. That Titan is a pretty cool thing, though.
Yeah.
that might
better than a pretzel.
That's
yeah.
You know it. So you're a native Rockfordian here pretty much all your life. And what career arc led you to the Kids Around the World organization?
Wow. So I went to ISU. My degree is in Parks and Recreation. And when I graduated ISU, I didn't even use my degree probably for about 17, 18 years. I was in outside sales for a really long time and was never fulfilled by what I was doing, wasn't passionate about it. Really kind of out of the blue, I got a phone call from somebody that I went to church with who works here at Kids Around the World and said, we have an opening and I think you'd be really good for it. And really it was an answer to prayer because I wanted to work in ministry and I wanted to do something, ministry related that had to do with kids, but I didn't really know what that looked like. And when this opportunity came along, it was, like I said, it was an answer to prayer. And so I've been on staff here for, it'll be 5 years this year.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you joined post, or should I say mid COVID, I guess you could say that's
I started like my first week on the job. They sent me to Ecuador, and you're still traveling with face shields and the masks and things like that. But yeah, it was. I don't miss that portion traveling. But yeah, yep, right around COVID.
All right, Gabe, let's put you in the hot seat now. Are you a native Rockfordian as well?
Yes, I am. So born and raised in Rockford. Went to Rockford Christian schools, and then after that, went to Rock Valley for a couple of years, saved some money, get my associates, and then transferred down to Greenville College, which is now Greenville University down by St. Louis. Which their claim to fame is jars of clay.
Yeah,
That's what they love to talk. Every prospective student that comes down there, they're like, "Did you know Jars of Clay went to school here?" It's like, cool. What does that have to do with my education?
Well,
it is cool though.
Haven't we aged past them now? People are like, "Who's Jars of Clay?" Right?
Well, even when I went to school there, I graduated in 2008 from college, and even then, I was like, I mean, I remember listening to them, and they're still cool, but they're long gone from, at least from here. So, but moved back to Rockford, and I've actually worked at Heartland Community Church, now Forest City Church, was Heartland. I've worked there for close to 20 years. I've been a pastor for about 15 years, and I'm still there in a very part-time role because Brian stole me away to work at Kids Around the World about a year ago. So a year ago, he called me up and said, "Hey, I've got an opportunity for you at Kids Around the World. I think you'd be great for it." And I said, "No way." And then he called me again and said, I mean, isn't that the way it works? Brian actually called me again. He says he doesn't remember it this way, but it's pretty vivid in my imagination. He called me again and said, "Hey, I just think you should look at the job description and just think about it, pray about it." And so he sent it to me, and I was like, "Okay, sure." I looked at it and I went, "Oh shoot, this is really cool." And and thought about it. We went through the interview process, and here I am. So I'm really grateful. It's a great opportunity, and I mean it. And I am in a very fortunate position as well, because they did allow me, Kids Around the World and the church, said, "We actually think it'd be great if you're able to stay at the church in a very limited fashion, because that's your community. Those are the people that you've been pastoring for a long time. Yeah. So long as it doesn't affect your work at Kids Around the World." And so it's a really cool partnership because, we work with churches, the local churches in Rockford, but churches everywhere. That's a lot of our partnerships. It's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. And so I'm able to bring a really unique vantage point to the work we do at Kids Around the World too, as someone who not only was a pastor, but is still currently a pastor in the church world.
Yeah, that's cool. And when you have a church family that supports you like that, that makes a big difference. If it's
for sure.
So, well, I want to bring up your website while we're chatting here, because you guys have an awesome website. Obviously, you've been around for quite a while here, since like 1994, I believe is no, that's not what I want. I want something maybe like this. Let's see if that doesn't work.
Oh, there's Brian.
Yeah, see.
Something like that. There we go. kidsaroundtheworld.com is what we're looking at here right now. And if my screen will let me, I can ask you, well, it's been around since 1994. I first became familiar with it. I was working at Positive Hit Radio, 101 QFL, the Christian radio station here in town. Before it became Air One, was locally owned, and WQFL and WGSL radio did a lot of different fundraising help for local ministries like this. And we met with Jim Rosine and told us about this thing that they were doing. And we were like, "That's great. That's awesome. We want to help support that." So they ran PSAs on our station and stuff for what they were up to. What is it? This is a really open-ended question. I think, what is it that allows a nonprofit based right here in Rockford to have such a massive global footprint. You've done so many things in over 100 countries. How does that happen? You know, what was the catalyst behind that, and how did that come together?
Yeah, so really, I mean, a lot of it, I mean, it's Jim Rosine, and a lot of the relationships that he forged and the connections with, other ministries. Like we don't do what we do on our own. Obviously, God is working in and through this ministry in incredible ways. But we have some amazing partners all over the globe. And when we talk about like the impact of playgrounds and the impact of food and the impact of discipleship, that doesn't happen without like-minded people, like-minded organizations, and people that want to expand the gospel in communities where they are. And so yeah, I mean, it started in 1994, just building a playground, and I don't think that they really even, anticipated that, 30 years later, we would have built, over 1,300 playgrounds in, almost 90 different countries globally. But so I guess it's a long way of saying we don't do it by ourselves. We do it with a lot of really, really great partners all over, not just here locally, but globally as well.
It's kind of an amazing thing to think of, that a playground, just simply building a playground, can expand the gospel, can expand the kingdom. And I wonder, it kind of makes you think, was that vision there at the beginning, or was it just kind of a feel good thing that was like, okay, this is going to help a small portion of the small little pocket of Ghana, and then it expands
Yeah.
like it is today.
Yeah. And I think they saw that on their second trip to Ukraine when they had brought Bibles to hand out to students in the public schools, right? And so they were drawing the kids in with the playground initially. And once the kids were there, they're able to, share the gospel with them. And then, I think this group of guys had this conversation like, something about this works, right? We have these great playgrounds to offer these communities, and it brings kids and it brings families in, and it creates generational change by the gospel spreading throughout that community. And I see it all the time. I mean, I've been on multiple playground builds, and you wouldn't believe what play does. I mean, playgrounds literally and figuratively open doors for us in communities where we may not otherwise be able to get in. They build relationships, they foster community among families. It's really cool to see how when we show up in a community and start building a playground, how people from the community, they start wondering like, what's going on? And people want to come and they want to help and they want to be a part of it and take ownership of it because it's so special. And so, yeah, I'm grateful to see how God works in so many incredible ways, and the way he does that through play is it's really cool.
You've probably been in a lot of countries too, where playgrounds never existed before. There was never been a concept of a playground, right?
Yeah, I have a colleague of mine. She built a playground in, I believe it was Peru, and the kids, when they saw the playground, they didn't know that the playgrounds were actually real. They said that they had only seen playgrounds in like comic books, so they didn't know that these things actually existed. So when they saw all of the bright colors, the slides, the swings, and everything, they didn't really know that like these were actually real things. But yeah, absolutely. A lot of the times in the communities where we're building playgrounds, the only time kids may have seen something similar is if they've been to, a big city in the area. And a lot of times those kids haven't traveled outside their community. So, yeah, so these playgrounds are one of the cool things for me too, is seeing the adults that grew up, maybe having a playground when they were kids, but then, not having anything for a long time. And then, we build this playground and they're the first ones that go down the slides.
Look at how much fun this is. Check this out. Check this out. Now, Gabe, you're mostly involved at the volunteer portion of the organization, correct? So
Yes.
when people are presented the opportunity to volunteer for this organization, what are some of the opportunities that you guys have for them? Is it only traveling
Oh
far
no.
away to build things, or are there other things that people can do to volunteer for you?
So that's definitely one of the ways to volunteer is we do trips throughout the year. We have open trips that anyone can sign up for, and then we have trips that you know, where they're not open because it might be a group from one organization or one church or something like that, and they're going to a community to install a playground. But you know, one of the highest impact ways that you could volunteer, and where we actually really need people to step up, especially in our community, in the 815 community, is to volunteer with us here in Rockford at our warehouse, refurbishing these playgrounds.
Mm.
So essentially what you're seeing here is, you know, these playgrounds, we completely refurbish them. So they are like new, they are beautiful. We replace anything that needs to be replaced. We freshen things up, new paint, all that stuff. And that's one of the first questions we get is some people are like, well, you know, are you sending them junk? No, absolutely not. We're sending them beautiful playgrounds. And the reason is, what we found is a brand new playground, if you were to buy a brand new playground, could be anywhere from 4 to 5 times, if not more, to purchase and then send a brand new playground. So by doing things this way, by removing a playground, so if the Rockford Park District calls us and says, hey, we're gonna tear this playground out and put a new one in, we will send teams, because we have developed relationships with all these park districts, and not just in Rockford. I mean, we send people up to Minnesota, we go to Texas, like all over, to tear playgrounds out. We will go and look at it and go, actually, this playground is really nice, and the fact that you're willing to get rid of it, we'll tear it out for you, which saves your park district money. And then we'll bring it back to our facility, we'll refurbish it, and then we're going to send it to a community where there's children who are in desperate need of somewhere safe to play. And so all that to say, what we really need is we need people who have margin on weekdays. And what I've seen just in my short time at Kids Around the World is just incredible relationships that are formed through serving. And anyone who's done that, who's volunteered for any sort of organization, has probably experienced this. They've experienced this joy of doing something that matters with your time, the time that you have available to you, but then also doing it alongside someone else. And then you're forming community, and you're forming these relationships that are actually really, they impact you more than I think you realize when you first sign up to serve. And so that's one of our really big needs, is people who are willing to come in during the week for a few hours here or there. I mean, we have people that come in every week. They sign up for a slot and they go, I'm here every single week. This is my time. And they come with friends, or they come with whoever. And it's incredible, you know, and I love walking into our warehouse and seeing that. And then, you know, even jumping in, like Brian and I have jumped into the warehouse. We'll jump in and we'll help refurbish from here and there. And so will other people on our team, because we all see that just a little bit of your time goes a long way.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm sure I've driven by your guys' place. Is it on Broadway? Where's the warehouse at?
It's right over behind the post office on Harrison. So there's like a whole big, you know, there's a lot of businesses and industrial sort of district back there. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Okay. And we've got a warehouse back there that we rent. And I mean, it's hard to miss us if you're driving back there, because we have playgrounds all over, like, everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen it before. It's like that's where the Kids Around the World thing is. That's cool. That's awesome. That's a place that's, you got all these spare parts, it looks like, for playgrounds. Yes. It's like,
so I have a question. How do you get it from point A to point B? It can't be cheap to transport that stuff from Rockford to, say, Ecuador or something like that. Do you have partnerships that you could, like, toss it on their boat?
Yeah, so they do go on boats. They do go on shipping containers. So what will happen is, depending on the partner, the relationship, the number of playgrounds. We try to fill as much space as possible on every container. But yeah, we have trucks that will show up here. They get set up in our loading dock. Playgrounds get put on the container. They go back on that truck, and excuse me, they go to port and they get shipped to the country where it's going to go. What we try to do is, because shipping costs are so expensive, we try to bring in multiple partners for every project that we're working on, if it's going to a partner of ours. So like, I'm actually working on a project right now in Zambia, and a colleague of mine has a partner that they want a playground in Zambia. So we're going to put these playgrounds and some food on a container, ship it to Zambia. The two partners are going to get to split the cost of shipping, which is great because international shipping is expensive. So yeah, but I mean, like, we've seen some pretty crazy things. I have a partner who bought a playground for a school in Haiti, and didn't want to put it on an actual shipping container. So she showed up with a school bus and emptied out all the seats from a school bus, and we loaded the playground into the school bus, which is kind of cool. I think that's probably the most unique shipping that we've ever done. But yeah, they all go in shipping containers on big boats.
And then you drove that school bus to Haiti, of course. Absolutely.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
That is really cool.
So there's a lot of different ways people can volunteer and help. So check out kidsaroundtheworld.com and find this volunteer tab and check it out. If you want to just volunteer in the warehouse here in Rockford, opportunities there for you. If you want to make a trip, opportunities there for you too. What's the next trip on your guys' calendar? What country are you going to next that maybe you can, or maybe the next one's already full. You can talk about the second one after the next one. What's on your calendar?
So I'm leading a trip to the Dominican Republic at the end of May. We're going to be building a playground there in the DR. That's really my heart, is the Dominican Republic. But you can check that trip is closed. My trips usually fill up really fast. This trip filled up in less than a week, which is really cool. Nice. But we've got trips to Uganda. I know that one is open. Ecuador, I'm not sure if that's open or closed yet. I think it's closed. But if you check our website on that Join Us tab, there's go on a global outreach trip. You can get all the information there to see what's open. But
Join Us, go on a global outreach trip. Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it looks like Ecuador and Panama and Uganda are all still open. So, and I've been to all three of them. So except Uganda, I have not been to Uganda yet.
So it looks like your typical trip is about a week, maybe 5 or 6 days.
Yeah. And really what it is, it's not just building a playground, it's experiencing really all facets of our ministry. So we're usually connecting with the local community, distributing meals, participating in our story clubs, our discipleship, our kids discipleship program, and seeing that. And really just connecting with the local community, the kids, the families, loving on them, sharing the gospel when we can, having fun, eating a lot of good food, and just making new friends and spreading the love of Jesus.
I don't want to assume anything. So I guess, do you have to have a profession of faith to go on one of these trips with your organization?
No, absolutely not.
No? Okay. So you just want to...
You do have to pass a background check. So Tom, you could be in trouble there. But yeah.
I could be.
That motorcycle accident gets him every time.
I tell you what.
No, but really, I think like they say at Forest City, we're anyone and everyone that wants to travel with us. If you can pass a background check, obviously, there may be some circumstances where, there is an issue, but, we're not, you don't have to be a believer to travel with us, to go on a trip with us. And I think I look at that as an opportunity to share the gospel where I can.
Yep.
And maybe not by words, but by actions.
So that can I, and real quick, I'll just say that extends to our volunteering in Rockford as well. One of my favorite partnerships that we formed in the last year has been with the Greendale Recovery Home, which is a part of Rosecrans. And Greendale, I don't know if you know how that works, but those who are a part of that recovery program they are asked to fulfill a certain number of volunteer hours in order to essentially, they're going through classes and things like that in recovery, but then they also are asked to volunteer in a community. And that's right down the street from us. So we have had so many people from that recovery program come in and serve with us here and there over the last year. And one of the coolest things that I've seen is people who serve in that recovery program who don't have, and we're not telling them, we're not saying your faith to life has to look a certain way or you have to believe a certain thing. We're just saying, hey, if you want to make an impact in kids' lives around the world, then come serve here with us, volunteer with us. But I have seen so much life change happening in person where, people, there's a handful actually who have served with us who have gotten baptized. I just watched one last Sunday who started serving with us, and then she got baptized last Sunday because she was like, I know that there's more to this life than what I have experienced before. And Kids Around the World for me, it's an honor to be even a small part of that story.
Yeah. That's cool. As I'm scrolling across your pages here, I just remember now, it was Denny Johnson. Denny Johnson was a huge part of what got this whole started in the first place. I almost went to work for Denny at a printing company down there by the airport. It was that close. And then the last question I really wanted to make sure I touched on with you guys before I open it up to anything that we missed. Your financials. You talk about how basically 90% of everything donated goes back to the kids. For the widest scope that you seem to have, how is that even possible? How can you focus 90% of every dollar donated back into these playgrounds and into the kids? That seems like a very tough task.
Mm-hmm. We have, fortunately, we've been blessed with incredible staff, really smart people who have, we've got one of our operations, VP of operations out in California is former military, and some of the systems and that he has put in place has allowed us to make a huge impact. And like you said, 90% of the funding that comes in is going right back into our programs. And if you look, like we are, ECFA accredited. If you go onto Charity Navigator, we have a 4-star rating, which is incredible. But I think again, it comes back to our staff and the people that we get to work with who have implemented these systems. That have been working over time and continue to evolve and continue to, kind of think forwardly because we are growing really, really fast. And so it's important for us to, be good stewards of, the money that comes in and use that wisely and, putting that right where it needs to go and right back into our programs where we're seeing kids and communities flourish because of that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and as Brian was saying, they're very good at creative solutions. We're always talking about how can we squeeze even more out of every dollar, because every dollar that we take in, that's that many more kids that we can offer food to or offer the joy of play. And so we've even gone so far as to say, well, what would it look like if we were to take these playgrounds that we're harvesting in the States and send them overseas to these communities and do the refurbishment there? Would that save us money? And we did all these studies and looked into it. And we found out, yeah, actually that would save us a lot. So we actually have refurbishment facilities now in Ecuador and Uganda that we've spent the last year or so fine-tuning and trying to set up, so that way we can service those communities that in a way that much more impactful, or that is more impactful, and we're saving money, so that way we can put it other places too, to really, as Brian said, steward our resources as responsibly as possible.
And then the ownership of the playground even becomes more theirs because they help refurbish.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Exactly.
and they're learning new skills. They're being empowered to refurbish these playgrounds there in country. And I think Jeff Rosine, our president, even said one of the nicest refurbished playgrounds he's ever seen came out of the Ecuador warehouse, which is something to say, right? Because they're just starting to learn this, and they're putting out some pretty incredible looking playgrounds.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, there's again, kidsaroundtheworld.com for all the information. You have such a wonderful website. Way to go, whoever built your website. They've done a really great job. Is there anything that we did not ask you that you wanted to make sure we asked you before we let you go about your day here?
You got anything, Gabe?
I mean, really the big thing for me is if you want to volunteer with us, just click on the Join Us tab, and then there's Volunteer in the Warehouse. That'll kick you right to me, and my response time is good. I will if you want to volunteer with us and you fill out that little form, I will text you or email you within 24 hours. Guarantee it.
Awesome.
And I'll just say, revenue helps drive our ministry and expand our ministry. So if anybody is ever interested in partnering with us financially, even if it's $5 a month, it makes a massive difference in the lives of the kids that we are ministering to. And so you can give, you can donate on our website, kidsaroundtheworld.com. And we'd love to partner with you. So
that's one of the biggest things after having been involved in Christian radio ministry for 12 of my 20 years in broadcasting was in Christian radio. And even those small gifts all compounded together turn into really big things. So please do not think that your $5 a month gift means very little. It means a lot because it's it's joining together with others who can only do that much right now and turning into big things. So
yeah.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do. So, all right, gentlemen, if we've covered all the bases, then I think we're going to transition with our trivia at this time. So stand by for Tom trivia now and Jessica. Good morning, Jess Rielly from Envoy Mortgage.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Hi, Tom. Hey, guys.
How are you?
Put Tom in the center square. Let's put Gabe and
I feel like Paul Lynn.
Below. There you go. So Jess Rielly, Envoy Mortgage, is going to help us score points on Tom's trivia today. Jess, by the way, was the leader of the team that won the trivia portion of the last contest at the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. So
I knew one answer, but I had a very good team.
Hang on. Now I got to change. Now I got to change another question. Make it harder. Okay.
That's all we asked of you today, Jess, is knowing one answer out of these 7.
All right. So point of clarification, I realized the bus can't drive to Haiti. Everybody knows the bus has to fly to Haiti because it's water. I know. All right.
Could have been a big ship.
You guys, like, I think you might have taken me seriously. I don't think he knows Haiti is an island in the Atlantic. I don't know. But anyway, are we ready?
We are ready. I do want to welcome some new folks that are probably watching us for the very first time, because for the very first time, we are on Twitch. We've added Twitch to our streaming services right now. So YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and now on Twitch. And a little birdie told me soon we'll be on TikTok. I don't know why or how, but that's happening. So here we go.
Well, that's pretty cool because I'm actually paying attention for the first time. So, all right. Let's get ready to rumble.
I wish he was lying. Okay, go ahead, Tom.
I owe Michael Buffer 12 cents now, don't I? All right. All right. Here we go. I'm going to give you the categories. U.S. populations, Sody Pop. I included soda and pop because there's this ongoing argument. No, it's pop. No, it's soda. Professional succession, TV sitcoms, automakers, one-hit wonders, and Rockford trivia. Now, this works out well. Jess, I'm not sure if you're from Rockford. You guys are. I don't know about you. Okay, good. You should all be okay with that one. All right, here we go. U.S. populations, North or South? Which Carolina has a larger population, North Carolina or South Carolina?
I want to say the bulk of isn't Charlotte's North Carolina. Charlotte's probably the biggest city of the North and South Carolina combo, right? That
I don't know.
that one makes me want to lean toward North Carolina, but maybe you folks know something different than me. I'm guessing here.
It sounds great to me.
Is this a team effort?
Yes.
Oh,
we're all-
absolutely.
Okay.
You're all on one team. You all split the grand prize of absolutely nothing. So
Oh, great.
pat on the back.
I'm
think,
only going to be.
well, I think the whole idea of quitting while you're ahead is always a good concept. So, Greg, what do you say?
North Carolina.
North Carolina has 11 million. South Carolina 5.8.
Oh wow, big difference.
So,
Okay, all right.
Almost double. Okay, soda pop. Which soda pop maker makes Fresca? Is it Coke or Pepsi?
I don't drink Fresca.
I don't either.
Either
Is it
penny
gross?
apples.
If it's
that
gross, it's Pepsi. I think. Right?
Well, I kind of put Fresca and Tab in the same category, and I think Tab was made by Coca-Cola. So
Yeah, I think it's Coke.
you think Coke makes Fresca?
I do.
Okay, I have no idea.
That's my opinion. I think it's Coke just because I feel like they make everything.
They do make a lot.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Shall we go with?
I trust you, Gabe. I trust Gabe.
The Fresca and the Tab reference was spot on. Yes. It's Coke.
Let's go.
It is Coke.
Okay.
I can't understand. Do they still make Tab?
I think the very, very limited supply, because I have family friends who love Tab. That was their drink of choice forever, and they found somewhere where they're still getting it, from what I understand. So,
Well,
I don't know where
Tab
they're
is
making it.
basically disgusting. So, oh well. To each his own, right?
Which is
All right, you guys are 2 for 2. Nicely done. All right,
All right.
presidential successions. In the presidential line of succession, who comes before whom? Is it the Director of Human Health and Human Services, which would be RFK, or the Director of Homeland Security, which would be Kristi Noem? Now, we're never, if we get that far down, we're in.
Whoa.
Basically, what you're wondering is which ranks higher in the presidential succession.
That is
all
a deep
really
dive.
Well, it's not really. It's
Well,
not
it's got to
really.
be
If you
12
know-
levels deep, isn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If you know anything about presidential succession, you'll get it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. It is a deep dive, essentially, but it's not really.
Well, which one was created? Which office was created first? Homeland
Health and
That's
Human
essentially
Services.
Health and
that's
Human
okay. That's essentially the question.
Health and Human
That
Services.
is
Homeland Security is a newer office.
Yeah.
It was 2001, right after the bombings of the World Trade Center. Tom Ridge, Pennsylvania governor, was our first Homeland Security chief. So yeah, yep. RFK would be first before Kristi Noem. Okay, there you go. 3-0. We're cooking with gasoline right now. All right, TV sitcoms. In the long-running sitcom The Office, where did
Yes,
Jim
here we
and
go.
Pam, where did Jim and Pam get engaged?
Oh, come on. Give us something hard, Tom.
Yeah,
Brian,
geez.
you want,
All right.
Next question.
Well, this is an Applebee's, right?
Wrong, Greg. Let us handle this, would you?
Okay.
do you want it, Brian, or do you want me to take it?
You can take it. I know, but go ahead.
It was at a
You can-
gas station in the rain off the turnpike. They met halfway.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't complete the question. And what was the name of the gas station?
Buc-ee's.
I feel like they'll know.
Bucky. It was not Bucky's.
Not
I know
Buc-ee's.
that.
No,
You
I
know,
don't
it's
think they
kind of
showed.
funny. I went to one of my favorite places yesterday called Uncle Nick's, and I got a Euro and a pizza puff. It's so good and so good for the heart. People don't realize how good for the heart it is. Anyway, I walk in there, and every time I do this, these are young guys working. They're like 28, 30. And I go, this used to be a gas station. It used to be called the Kerr McGee. It's even got the same color pattern. It literally does. Same paint,
Literally
same
does.
everything. And they're like, really? Wow. Yeah, that's a true story. I grew up in the area, so that's just so funny. All right.
When
So I don't know
Greg
if it's
told me
Buc-ee's or
the other day-
Lucky's or a Sitgo, but you got it right.
Was it Brian?
When Greg
okay.
told me the other day that we were doing trivia, I said, as long as there's Office trivia or Seinfeld trivia, I'll be okay. So when I heard you say The Office, I was like,
All right. I
dang,
don't know if I
here we
should
go.
say this, but he did kind of lean in and say, "Can you make like an Office or a Seinfeld trivia?" And I poured over this, and I'm thinking, well, if he knows The Office like I think he does, he's going to get every question. That was probably the one that I found that might have been the, I should have just went with what gas station was it. I should have, but it may not be. No, it may not be canon. So, and then the Seinfeld thing. Oh goodness, whatever. All right, so here we go. You guys are 4-0.
Wow.
This is automakers. Which car maker manufactures the Stratus?
Oh my gosh.
I know that one because my friend used to crack a joke about it. He used to pretend he used to do this skit where he was being badgered by his buddies for not having a great job or whatever. And his joke was, I drive a Dodge Stratus. Like that was a special thing. So it's got to be a Dodge Stratus.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Brian. Another Brian. That was his joke. I thought that was funny. So
I feel like this is just when I was doing the mass trivia contest where I'm like, well, what do you guys think? And somehow we got every single one right. So I surround myself with really smart
You're a
people.
good leader, Jess. You're a good leader.
All right, so everybody remain quiet. Let Jess answer this one.
Oh,
Jess,
no.
what is 2
the
plus
one I
2?
got
I'm
right,
kidding.
Tom? The one I got right, Tom, was the Taylor Swift question. That was it.
Well,
The Taylor
this
Swift
happens.
question that you asked.
Well, Taylor Swift is a 100 hit wonder. This is a 1-hit wonder. You may get it, you may not. I don't know. You might. I think you will. Let her go. Let her go. And if she can't, she'll rely on you guys. 1-hit wonders. Who gave us the 1-hit wonder? Mickey in 1982.
In my defense, I was born in 1987. So I will have to phone a friend.
All right. I'm going to change it. Who gave us the 1-hit wonder Tub Thumping in 1990 whatever?
Oh,
No
come on, Jess. Tub thumping.
I'm
I'll
feeling really bad right
Not
about
again.
now.
You ain't ever
Yeah,
gonna
I know that, and I know Mickey, but I don't know who sang them.
It's a great band name. It's one of the best band names ever.
I mean, I was like 5.
I can buzz in if you want.
Gabe, help her
Go
out.
ahead.
Which one?
Either one.
Tub thumping is Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
Chumbawamba.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, and that was in 82. So you weren't born until 87. So you were -5. Who is it?
For the other one?
Yeah.
Tony Basil, I think, or something like that. Basil or something
it
like
might
that.
have been Basil, but yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. And do you guys want to feel okay? So you're not going to feel so old, but I'm going to feel old. Greg's going to feel old. She's 82 years old right now.
Oh,
She's 82 years old.
still getting the royalty
Are
checks,
you
I bet.
kidding me?
I hope so.
I still jammed to that song. I played it the other night at trivia. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. Whoa, 82. Now she's out there with her walker. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. What's the next line? I don't know. Wow. Dang. Okay, Rockford trivia. Here we go. Rockford trivia. Which company, by the way, you're 6-0. I don't want to put pressure on you. 6-0. You could have a perfect score. There's only been 3 perfect scores. Which Rockford company created the sock monkey in 1932? And by the way, you see them all over the place now because the patent ran out years ago, and the family probably were all dead. Who knows? I don't know. So they didn't renew it. So now anybody can make a sock monkey.
It was a knitting company.
It was a knitting company.
It was a knitting company.
Yep.
And the first letter of the company also started with an N, I believe. I'm pretty sure I know this answer, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it was the Nelson Knitting Company.
Boom. Well, that didn't work. It was supposed to flutter up and go like this. See, this one will.
Where's the confetti? Confetti. Hit
Still
the
didn't work.
confetti. Woohoo!
I've got this really cool thing. Yeah, that was awesome. I've got this. Oh, there you go. There's the confetti. There we go. Oh, Greg, you get it on my computer every single week. Anyway, I've got this really cool thing up there. I'm looking at it. It's a New Year's Eve type celebration thing where you twist it, and I mean it makes a loud explosion. It's like boom, and there's confetti everywhere. And we did it at Christmas time or New Year's a couple of years ago. A year later, I'm still finding little pieces of paper behind the couch, behind a thing, behind this, behind that, which could mean one of two things. Either I don't clean very often, or there was a whole lot of confetti, one of the two. So anyway,
That's
7-0. It's pretty good.
With confetti or that little the dust that's all bright colored. It's the stuff you put in greeting cards and you really want to make someone mad. All the little sparkly things. Glitter never ends. Yeah, glitter never ends.
Oh, glitter drives me nuts.
Glitter drives me nuts.
Wow.
All right.
Hey, Brian and Gabe, I still need 2 more people for my trivia team for March 19th. So I'll reach out.
Okay.
These 2 guys kicked some serious butt. And by the way,
Yeah,
Jess,
this was actually a test. We didn't tell you that, but you're in.
you've been trolled. Yes.
I'm gonna guess, and I could be wrong, but I don't think Jess has chosen her not-for-profit to play for yet either. So
let's go katw.org.
Yeah.
Okay. I see a little bartering partnership going on here.
All right.
That's pretty cool.
Cross connect and let's see if we can make that happen because we still have 4 more openings for teams to play March 19th at Tabala. So we'd love to have
Greg
you
and I
guys
get 10% of the profits. Just kidding.
God, I hope we get 10% of the profits. Anyway. All right, gentlemen, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. We'll connect with you again, I'm sure, to catch up with you guys down the line and see what other great things kids around the world is doing.
I just want to say thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you both for what you do. This is really amazing stuff. So God bless.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Tom. Bye, guys. All right, Jess Rielly's joining us now from her wonderful place here in northern Illinois. Good morning, Jess.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us today and joining us on the trivia and helping us out today. That was good.
I love trivia. I always learn so much because I'm not a big movie buff and I read a lot, but mainstream like music and stuff. So I always learn a ton.
Okay, so I will always ask the same question. What's your wheelhouse? Because the next time you're on, which will be, every few months, every 3 months, maybe after the trivia contest, we do it again. What is your wheelhouse? I will make sure that I remember this and I will kind of gear some questions towards you. And I take into account the fact that you're my daughter was born in 86. So I know exactly how old you are. So I can kind of gear it towards
other than Taylor Swift. What would be a good category for Jess Rielly?
I mean, if we could throw some mortgage loan questions in there, that would be amazing.
Mortgage loan questions.
I kept telling the team, I was like, when will they get to the financing questions? And they're like, I don't really know if that's trivia, Jess, but yeah, Taylor Swift was the one that I knew. I think trivia I struggle with because, again, like you said, because of my age, there's a lot of questions that go back. And I also think that that's why a good trivia team has people younger than I am, people older than I am. Like you kind of have to have all ages.
Oh, absolutely. That is so true. And then there are some teams out there. We got a team that plays, they're 50, 60 somethings and they win all the time because they just are so immersed. See, the older people have the advantage because you know the old stuff, but you can also learn the new stuff. You would have to, you can know the new stuff, but you're going to have to really push to learn the old stuff. And there's so much out there. But if you've lived like I have, I get it. So next time you're on, I will make sure. Here's one. How much is Taylor Swift worth? That's combining both. What is her net worth? Billions. You got it. You got it.
Absolutely a billionaire by now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, for those who have never met Jess Rielly before, are you a native 815 area person, or did you grow up elsewhere?
I am. I grew up here. I went to school here. I went to NIU Rockford. So I actually never left the area. I've been here my whole life.
Okay. What high school did you go to?
Harlem.
You're a Husky. Go
Yes.
Huskies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you stayed a Husky because you went to NIU.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Huskies. That's a different Huskies. That's NIU there. Is NIU
Yeah.
Rockford still Huskies?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah, it was a great program. I mean, I was working in Rockford, so I wasn't really able to, make it to DeKalb and go to school full time and work as much as I was. And what, at least at the time that I was there, I graduated from NIU in 2010. The same teachers from DeKalb would drive to Rockford, and they taught the same classes, same syllabus. But it was really cool because my friends in DeKalb would be in like a 300-person, lecture hall, and I had the same class and there was 20 kids. And so it was much more personable, and I really
Yep.
enjoyed it. It was great.
That's cool. That's really cool. So, Tom's signal's been goofy, so Tom's gonna disappear on us for a moment.
He's like, that's enough. I've heard enough.
So what career arc led you to Envoy Mortgage? What work did you do after college that ended up now where you are today?
I went right into mortgage loans right out of college. I was working at a local bank at the time in college as a teller, as everybody who works in a bank starts as. And this was, like I said, it was 2010. So this was when interest rates started to drop kind of for the first time into like the fives and then the fours. And everyone was kind of, saying interest rates have never been this low. They're never going to be this low again. And so the mortgage department at the bank was getting really busy. And so they kind of had approached me. I already knew, the customers of the bank and really enjoyed everyone that I was working with. And they're like, hey, do you want to stay here and learn about mortgages and financing? And I was 22 years old, so I hadn't even ever bought a house, but it was a job and it kept me in Rockford. So I was like, sure, that sounds great.
So your goal going to college wasn't necessarily to be a loan officer. It was just to be in banking.
Well, I studied business and I thought about doing accounting because I really liked the numbers side of things. I've always liked math and finance. It's always interested me. But after going through some accounting classes, I kind of realized that that's probably not my personality, like sitting, crunching numbers. And I love people. And so what I do now really combines both to where I get to meet new people and all the time, kind of develop relationships, but also still do the finance and the numbers and solve problems.
Okay. And that's a good point because why you're echoing. I'm getting an echo from somewhere.
Hello. By the way, I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Just
I
the
was
whole
saving-
history of Jessica. That's all.
I was saving kittens from a burning building.
Yeah.
Had to do it.
Well, I had this whole thing written up that we didn't get to because we did the trivia transition, but I wanted to introduce you in such a way that would make you, blush a little bit because I wanted to say something really awesome. The future isn't coming. The future's already here. It's parked in your driveway. It's in your yard. We're talking about the backbone of the American dream with master loan originator Jessica Rielly, who is a fellow real estate investor, someone who understands that a mortgage is not just a bill, it's a foundation. And this is someone who's helping to build what I've been referring to lately as a lifestyle surplus. The equity that you have in your home, that you're building in your home, is creating for yourself a lifestyle surplus for later on when that equity builds. Whether it's something that you want to use that money to travel with, or to give back to, or to fund whatever it is you want to fund when you're close to or at retirement age. This is kind of what your house has turned into for a lot of us. And as an investor yourself, I wanted to ask you, you're not just looking at spreadsheets, you're looking at actual doors and roofs. You're looking at actual properties here in the 815. Being a landlord yourself, has that changed the way that you guide, especially first-time home buyers, into buying homes and building their own equity sanctuary, their future lifestyle surplus?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people look at purchasing a home as essentially a roof over their head. This is just where we're going to live. I look at it very differently ever since I started looking at, rental property and running numbers. So I see real estate as an investment. And that it doesn't mean it has to be a rental property. Your primary residence is an investment and you want to make a good investment, right? So we talk through questions like, does this home still allow me to live the lifestyle that I want, or, the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to? And that can show up when we're running monthly payments. Just because somebody qualifies at a certain monthly payment doesn't necessarily mean, they want to go that high. So we talk a lot about that. Am I financially prepared to care for this home? Deferred maintenance, what if something goes wrong? What if something breaks? So, and then looking ahead too, like, okay, I'm going to buy this home today as my primary residence, but when I'm ready to move, like, would this make a good rental property? And that's how I got into investing myself. Is I bought a home, a great home, small home, but great home, lived in it for some years and then moved out and made that my first rental property. So we're kind of having a broader conversation and like thinking more about the future.
And being a landlord isn't for everybody. It's not like this is
Right.
something everyone should do, but it definitely is something everyone should consider.
Yeah.
If that's if that's something that you want to use as an investment, not just a place, like you said, having a roof over your head.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
I guess to dovetail off that too, when the first home that I bought was a huge blessing in my life. I didn't realize it at the time, but the first home I bought was a VA foreclosure.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and how I got the house, I still don't know how God orchestrated that. He knew I needed it for the future because I went through a divorce. And when I went through a divorce, the sale of that house and the equity we built in that house in just a few short years saved my financial butt.
Mhm, mhm.
Ways. It paid off all these things that I would have been strapped with for years had I not bought this house. So
Mhm.
I thank God for that first house every day. Every time it crosses my mind, I'm like, thank God for that house. Today, in today's market, we're seeing homes go under contract anywhere from 8 to 12 days when they get listed. They're going under contract very quickly. Whereas when you started back in 2010, 11, 12, homes were probably on the market for anywhere from 30 to 60 days on average. I forget what the average market was back then, but it was a month or more.
Absolutely.
So now
Yeah, yeah. You could, a home could be listed on Monday and the client would call me on, Friday and say, can I make an appointment for next Friday? And you would have the time to do that. And it's very different today.
it's very different. So how do you and the team you have that Envoy, how do you help our local buyers not get beat out by the competition? What's important to win in a market that we're currently in?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for asking that question, because I think buyers don't realize the importance of a strong local pre-approval, and that is truly key in this competitive market, is to work with a lender that has a proven track record of closing on time, getting things done. My team at Envoy, all of us, we do a full pre-approval up front. Every time, we don't waver from that. So what that means is we're doing things like verifying income, verifying employment, verifying assets. We're getting documentation, asking all of those questions up front. So that way, any questions or potential issues are solved before, even receiving the pre-approval letter. So, can that take a little bit more time up front? Sure. But it sets the buyer up for success.
And that's so important. I can't stress that enough either. Is just how important that is, because in a market like this, that is such a speed market, having the seller is going to get multiple offers right away if they're priced right.
Yeah.
And if a seller's looking at 4, 5, or 6 offers in front of them, and one of those offers is with a strong local lender like yours that has already done all this legwork up front, and the other 5 are from lenders they've never heard of before, or, oh, I think we're going to get our loan from this bank. We bank here, so that's where we're probably going to get our loan from. That doesn't sell your offer. It doesn't help at all. So it's really, really important to have to get the leg up in a speed market like we're in, and Envoy's so good at doing that. One of the other things I definitely wanted to ask you about was that you do something that's kind of unique in the market too, where you actually show up at most of the closings, and most lenders don't. Why do you try to make that effort to do that? What's important to you to be at the closing table with the client?
Yeah, that's a good question too. Well, I love people. Like I said, I'm a people person. So actually getting to meet my clients face to face and hear about their goals, but also hear about what they're struggling with or their concerns about buying a home, especially first-time home buyers, that allows me to know them better and know and understand their situation better, which, I mean, ultimately just helps me to solve their problems, right? So a lot of people think that the job of a loan officer is just like, quote me an interest rate. And that is not the case. My role is to, manage pretty much the entire process, protect things like timelines and earnest money, and ensure that closing goes well. So, being there with my buyers, who a lot of times become like friends to me, at closing is the best part. It's the best part of my job. We've been on this journey together that, sometimes could take, basically from contract to closing 30 to 45 days. But maybe I pre-approved those clients a year ago, or 2 years ago. So, we've been on this journey together. So closing is just not something I like to miss.
No, it's a wonderful finish line, like an Olympic sport.
Yeah, it's the best part.
Let's celebrate together because we got to the finish line.
Yeah.
Thing. I'm sure over the years you've done some interesting loans or met some interesting people, and we could tell all kinds of interesting stories, hopefully without incriminating anybody. Is there any fun loan stories that you like to tell people, clients that you've helped, or just situations that you've run into where you've been like, this one I'm going to remember till my dying day because of this person's personality, or this house that they happened to buy and saw something in that I didn't see? Anything like that kind of jumps out in your...
I have a closing that I will never forget. This wasn't that long ago. It was within the last couple of years, maybe 1 to 2 years. It was 2 clients, and one of my clients was pregnant, and due, within a couple weeks of closing. So kind of the goal was to get closed and then, move into the new home before the new baby arrived. She went into labor like very, very late the night before closing. I think it was actually technically like early morning, the morning of closing. So I woke up and I had texts on my phone, she's in labor. Then she had the baby within a few hours. And I was like, okay, are we moving close? Like, what do they want to do? I finally was able to connect with the clients. It was still in the morning, and she was like, we want to close on her house. So, obviously she was at the hospital, so they couldn't leave. Title Underwriters, which is one of our amazing local title companies, went to the hospital to meet with them and close their transaction the same day, day of closing. And so she closed on her house and had a baby the same day, which, I mean, women and moms are just superheroes, so it doesn't surprise me, but that's my favorite story.
That's amazing.
We bought a dog the day we closed on our house. I thought that was amazing. This
Similar.
is a little more amazing.
Well, yeah, that's definitely one you'll never forget. That's pretty awesome. So today's let's just ask that question. Today's interest rates, as we record this today on the 21st day of February 2026.
Yeah.
what are rates at currently, and what do you predict here for this year?
Yeah, I always give a range, right? Every good loan officer will, because the interest rate's dependent on so many factors, which is why if you want an accurate rate quote, you need to give some additional information, on the property, on what you're putting down, on your credit score, all of that comes into play. But 30-year rates are sitting right around 6%. So we've seen a pretty substantial drop. Rates are actually a little bit better on government loans. Those are kind of in the high fives. So that's like your FHA loan, VA loan. I closed a VA loan yesterday. His interest rate started with a 5, which is nice to see. That's our loans for veterans. So affordability has certainly improved, which is why I would tell everybody, if you were looking for a home 2 years ago or even 1 year ago and maybe got out of the market or decided it wasn't the right time, you really should connect with a lender just to have them rerun numbers at current rates.
It's I don't know if we're to that point yet where people are going to refinance, but maybe they would consider that if they bought a home.
We are. I mean, yeah, within the last couple of years, rates were well into the 7s. So, I mean, I'm already working with a couple of people who are in the process of refinancing, and they're reducing their interest rate by a point or over a point. So, I mean, saving hundreds of dollars per month.
We did this thing a few years ago, and some people poo-pooed it and some people were very excited about it. But we had this saying around real estate, it was marry the house, date the rate. And some people really hated that phrase, but others were like, oh no, this actually kind of makes sense. Because you know what? You are buying a house to live in. You're marrying that. You're making a commitment to the house. You're not making the same commitment to the loan that you used to buy the house. So you could call that dating the rate.
Yeah, and that's always been the case. I thought, when that saying came out, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then, you heard it 18 million more times. And now we're kind of like, oh, don't say it anymore. But it's true.
First time
Absolutely.
for me.
Yeah, it's because you're going to eventually you're going to break up with the rate of your loan. Because if the rates improve enough, you should go get the better rate. Okay. So,
well, my mortgage is on its 4th incarnation now. 4 times at least that it's been sold. Everything's fine. My mortgage rate doesn't change, but I mean, that's how, I don't want to say fickle. I don't think that's the right word, but that's how these things operate. Every 5 years, every 7 years or whatever, the mortgage gets sold. So
that's a good question for you, Jess. Why do banks sell loans?
To make you feel better, Tom. Yeah, I was just gonna say, to feel better, Tom, I have with my rental properties, I think I have 6 mortgages, and so it's like just constant, like, changing and updating things, and none of them are with the same company, of course. So the way that works, or the reason that happens. Yeah. The reason that happens, though, is because we're originators. So Envoy or banks or credit union, any lender is considered a mortgage loan originator, which is separate from a mortgage loan servicer. So what you're talking about, Tom, is actually your servicing. The servicer is essentially just who you make your payment to. And a lot of places, us included, has multiple different servicers, and there's so many servicing companies. And really the reason that there's servicing companies is because logistically, servicing a loan became a nightmare for originators. I mean, even, banks that used to service aren't servicing anymore. They're not servicing all of their loans because of all of the legalities involved of, like, if a client misses a payment or the foreclosure process. So there's these companies that handle all of that. So what you're referring to is a servicer.
Oh, that's so cool. I learned something new today. I learned a few things new today. In fact, it's Select Portfolio servicing. That is my
Yeah.
mortgage company or whatever. And so that is funny. It's even got servicing in the name. That is cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But a lot
All
of
right.
times, I mean, my clients, they don't call their servicer. I talked to a client yesterday, actually, that had filed an insurance claim. So she got an insurance check and had questions regarding that because it was payable to the servicer. So again, maybe another benefit of working with a local lender is like, you know, you can avoid the 800 number, just call the lender, and a lot of times we can help you get what you need or point you in the right direction, so that way you don't have to work as much with the servicer. So I tell my clients, I'm like, just call me, and you know, I can help out.
So one of the things to check on your current mortgage, Tom, is to what is your current interest rate, and if it's above, if it starts with a 7 or is higher than that, you probably want to refinance that, or at least talk to someone like Jess and say, what would my payment look like if I refinance today?
Mine is 3.
Yeah, so you're probably very
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything at all. We've had them for 15 years, back when mortgage rates were really low.
Yeah.
We refinanced, and we due to, I'll give you the 30-second rate, due to a motorcycle accident I had 21 years ago, or 22, whatever it was. We had to refinance, but that was the second time we had to refinance in the 4 short years that we'd owned the house. We've owned it for 25 years now. And we ended up maybe doing it a third time, but the third time was because we got a really, really good rate. The only downside is that you start the process over again, but it works out in the long run. If you want to play the long game, it's okay, because our payment is a lot lower than what it would have been had we stayed with the 5.5 or 6.5 or whatever it was. I think it was closer to 7. So we saved.
You also don't have to start over again, Tom. So like what I've seen clients do is go from a 30-year, and maybe they've been paying for 10 years, you know, so now they have 20 years left. And then maybe their new term we set up as a 15-year, because the rates are a little bit lower on a 15-year.
Yeah.
So they actually cut their mortgage down, you know, by 5 years in that situation. Or just for the future, you'll probably never have to leave that 3% rate. But let's say you've been paying for 25 years, you can amortize your new loan over 25 years or 28 years. So the lender can set that amortization. It doesn't have to be 30 years, which is kind of cool. So you don't have to worry about adding.
Yeah. Now, the only drawback on that was that cash flow was a problem at the time. I was out of work for 3 years with my accident. So we had no choice but to go 30.
Yeah,
and that's why I started the whole thing over again, because we just simply couldn't afford the 15. I would have loved to have done the 15. I would have loved to, because we had been paying on it for 4 years, 5 years, whatever it was.
Sure.
And we had some equity in it. But I would love to have done the 15, but we just couldn't, because I was out of work, and then I went back to work part-time, and then I finally went back full-time 3 years later. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Really tough for a while there. But anyway.
I'm on this page on your website, Jess, envoymortgage.com. And let's see here. Did I put this in the chat? Yes, I did.
It looks like you're on your spy cam. You're looking in someone's backyard here.
Something we're looking over the neighborhood. envoymortgage.com/Jessica-Rielly. Fixed rate, adjustable rate, FHA loan, all these different loans that are on the screen here right now are purchase loan options. These are all things that you offer, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one better than another? I think that's probably the main question people want to know is all these options. There's 9 options looking at me on the screen here. Obviously, if I'm not building a house, I'm not going to do this construction loan thing over here. But all these other ones, what's the best option for me?
Our job is to offer options, right? And that's one thing that I love about Envoy is we have so many different products and programs. So it's very situation dependent, very dependent on the client and kind of what their goals are, what they're looking for. You know, are we very payment conscious? Are we trying to put as little money down as possible so your out of pocket is very low? So that's kind of all things that we talk about in what I call the discovery call or a strategy session. That's kind of the first meeting of like, okay, tell me what your goals are. Again, what are your hesitations? What are you worried about? So that way we can kind of determine what product would be best for that client.
So there is no go-to loan for everybody.
Correct.
And actually, what's not on this page right here right now that I just noticed, none of them say conventional.
Well, fixed rate. Fixed rate would probably.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fixed the conventional.
Yeah.
Are we in a market right now, in your opinion, are we in a market right now where it might make sense for a buyer to use an adjustable rate mortgage in a situation? Does that even something that you recommend to anybody for any reason?
ARMs can make sense again in certain situations. Let me tell you where it doesn't make sense first. So if someone is looking at a long-term investment, this is my forever home, I probably wouldn't recommend an adjustable rate mortgage, because obviously you're going to hold that interest rate of where a rate's going to be in the future. We're going to be here for a while, and the payment would increase. The last ARM that I did made sense because it was a client moving from out of state who was doing a 3-year residency program in the area. He was going to be a doctor and he was doing his residency here. So he was going to only be here for a short amount of time. He didn't want to rent. It's affordable to buy here, which is great. So he ended up investing in a home using a 3-year ARM, which means the interest rate is fixed for the first 3 years. He didn't really care what happened at year 4 because he never planned on staying here. So what his plan was, he's going to live here for 3 years, have that lower rate, lower payment. And then year 4, when he ended up taking his career wherever, he would sell that property. So if it's a short-term, kind of, again, investment, an ARM could make sense. I think for most people, it probably doesn't, but somebody like in that situation, it made perfect sense.
Yeah. And that's a really good explanation, because it's what kind of risk do you want to take, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you can lock in a lower rate for 3 years, and you're going to be moving within 4 or 5.
Yeah, there's 3 years, there's 5 years, there's 7-year ARMs. So, again, kind of zooming out a little bit, what does this investment look like for you? How long are you planning on being here?
Okay. All right. And then the one that you probably do, I'm guessing the majority, maybe the slight majority of your loans, the FHA loan. Why would someone choose to use an FHA loan rather than a fixed rate conventional type of a loan?
Yeah, so FHA is also a fixed rate product, just to clarify that. So FHA is a 30-year fixed interest rate option. A lot of people think that FHA loans are only for first-time home buyers. That is not the case. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to use FHA. A lot of first-time home buyers do use FHA. And that's primarily for 2 reasons. Your credit score doesn't have to be quite as good. You don't have to have perfect credit to obtain an FHA loan. FHA is more lenient on things like credit scores or prior derogatory credit events. So something like a bankruptcy, they're a little bit more lenient in that regard. And then secondly, FHA loans only require 3.5% down. Isn't a whole lot. So a lot of first home buyers use FHA. I probably still do more conventional lending. Even as a first time home buyer for a conventional loan, you can buy with 3% down. So it's still, pretty attractive. I would say majority of my transactions are conventional, and then definitely followed by FHA.
And that's I think another thing that is a little bit of a myth is that there's a myth out there that you have to have 20% down payment in order to buy a house, and 3% is a whole lot easier to deal with than 20%.
Absolutely.
So is there anything else that you wanted to make sure we asked you about today that we did not get to, that you want to share before we move on with your day? I know you got other stuff to do, so I don't want to completely dominate your entire morning, Jess.
No, you're fine. The only other thing I would say is just I'll briefly mention VA lending. I know we, talked about the VA loan that I closed yesterday, but a VA loan is a loan that is available to eligible veterans and service members. That is one of my favorite products. It is 100% financing, so our veterans don't need a down payment. super attractive interest rates, no PMI or private mortgage insurance, and it's just such a great product. And the other thing I'll add to that is, just so maybe the general public or even real estate agents know, a lot of times our veteran buyers are some of our strongest borrowers. So it doesn't mean just because they're not putting any money down, it doesn't mean that they don't have it. A lot of veterans have multiple sources of income. A lot of time there's VA income, and then they're also working. And so I really, really love VA loans. I believe in VA loans. They're super easy transactions. So yeah, I just, wanted to mention that for veterans. It's an amazing product.
That is a good thing to bring up, because it's, like you said, they don't have to put that money down, so they've got that extra money. They might not be as quick to ask for certain repairs, or like, I got the money to fix that when I move in. It's a minor thing, no big deal.
Exactly.
There's nothing major wrong with the property. They may be less likely to ask you for some repairs. So, I think this will let me play this. Let me see if this will let me play this real quick. Show the whole screen like it was supposed to show the whole screen. I don't think it filled the screen too far, didn't it? I think it filled the screen too far.
It was a little cut off at the bottom, but we saw it.
let me see if this works better. I think this is going to work better. There we go. Give me an opportunity one more time to thank you for catching the vision of the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest and stepping up to say, hey, I want to give the $1,000 trivia prize this time to the team that has the highest trivia score at the next Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest that doesn't win the grand prize. And you've been a part of this for basically since the beginning. You've kind of caught the vision of this from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about what your feelings and thoughts are on this whole masked karaoke trivia contest that we've been doing now for a couple of years.
It is so much fun. So the first time I attended the event was as an audience member. So I would say too, to people who are like, I'm not really sure, and I don't want to sing in front of people, or whatever your hesitation might be, just come as an audience member. And that's what I did. I was trying to kind of understand what this event was and how it worked. And we had so much fun as an audience member. And there's still opportunities to win stuff throughout the whole event, even if you don't have a team. So that was so much fun. So immediately after the first time I went, I was like, we have to get a team together. Like, we need to play next time. We need to be involved. And again, like I said, I'm smart enough to know that I need to surround myself with people that are smarter than me. So so I built this awesome team who I'm trying to recruit most of them back. And so, yeah, it's part trivia, part karaoke, but ultimately the best part about it is how much goes back to local charities and nonprofits, and which I think is really cool. And Greg, you and I have talked about this before, but $1,000 to a small local nonprofit, like, that goes so far. That goes such a long way. So it's just a really fun event to get involved in.
Plus the bragging rights. I mean, come on now. But let me
I have the plaque that we got as our, as the trivia winner. It's at my office, and I love to talk about it.
So let me correct you on one thing you said. You are plenty smart enough. I don't think you need to surround yourself with people smarter than you, because I don't know if there are a whole lot of people that are. What you need to do is surround yourself with people who fill the little gaps that you don't fill.
Fill the gaps. I like that.
I like that better, because in just the short 30 minutes we've talked, you are plenty smart. You are plenty smart. So but see, this goes back to my philosophy of trivia. When I make a trivia quiz, I specifically make sure that people don't walk away going, "Oh God, I suck. Oh my God, I can't. Oh my God." And the fact is, today's questions were a little out of your league because they were TV questions. You probably don't watch a lot of TV. The COVID question, Fresca started in like 1952. I wasn't born then. You know,
Right.
North Carolina, South Carolina, it's a crapshoot. I don't know. Greg had a
Yeah.
great observation that, you know, Charlotte is there. So yeah. So I try to make these quizzes so that, and I try to do the same thing with the trivia karaoke as well, so that the entire team can play. And like you said, you got the. If I'm not mistaken, did you guys win the trivia part of it?
The trivia.
We did.
Okay, so maybe your one question was what put you over, because I mean, you said you got the one question. Think about it that way.
Yeah. And I
Maybe
was
you're
the only one at the table that knew. I forget what your question was, but it was a Taylor Swift question. I'm like, I got this one. I have a daughter too, you know, and so yeah, we listen to a lot of Taylor's been around, you know, since she was little. So I'm like, oh yeah, we're Swifties.
Either what is Taylor Swift's favorite number, or what was Taylor Swift's first album? I believe it was one of those two. Maybe not. Maybe
I think it was her favorite number, but I'm not sure. I don't remember either.
No, that doesn't sound right. I don't remember what it was, but
I used that one before. Obviously, you know what that is, right?
13.
yeah.
It's 13, yeah, because she was born December 13th, 1989. So I'm not
She's
going to
been
look
around
at
for so long too that I forget, you know, her albums, and I hear something, I'm like, oh my God, she was like 14 here, and I forget that that's a Taylor Swift song. You know, we've never been to a concert. We're not like that kind of Swifty, but I mean, she's just been around forever, so it's been fun to watch.
There's a few things about Taylor Swift I don't care for. She's a little outspoken. I tend to see things a little differently than her. That's fine. I love Taylor Swift, though. I
Yeah.
absolutely adore her. I am a big Swiftie because I like her music. I love the fact that she wears her heart on her sleeve. But one thing she did that really impressed me, she stopped the music one day in a concert. I'm kind of piecing this all together as I talk, meaning I'm making it up. No, I'm kidding. And
Fair.
saw that some girl was being picked on or bullied or something like that in the audience, and she said, "No, no, no, not on my watch." And she brought her up in
Yes.
something to that effect. And I'm like, wow, that takes stones right there.
I did see that. That was in the middle of her concert. I mean, yeah,
It
that was,
was.
and that's what
And
should
I
happen.
love that, because she's showing that, you know what, I'm in total control here. I have no problem with that. Yeah, you're in control. We're here to see you. We paid big money to see you. You're the boss, boss. You know, and I loved what she did. I've been a Taylor Swift fan ever since then. I don't give a rip about her politics. I wish, okay, so I don't really want any celebrity to be too outspoken at their concerts. If you want to be outspoken outside of your concert or something like that, fine. That's fine. You have every right. You know, that's fine. But also, if you're on the wrong side, and when I say the wrong side, the side that simply
The other
disagrees with the other side. Yeah, because who's to say what's the wrong side and what's the right side? But you do it in concert. Bruce Springsteen does this a lot. Go suck an egg, buddy. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Go away. I won't even play a Bruce Springsteen song. I won't.
How many people in a concert audience paid to get talked to about politics? They came there to see music.
This happened to, I want to say it was James Taylor. He was at the Big Orange Box, the Metro Center, back when it was the Metro Center, and he started talking about some politics and political stuff. Rockfordians didn't like it. They booed him. And then he says, okay, I got it. Not that kind of crowd. And he started playing, and from then on, the concert went well. So anyway.
Shower the people you love with love.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's move on.
Try that.
I just went and saw Nate Bargatze on Thursday.
Oh my
that was
God.
in Rockford.
I love that guy.
So funny. So that's actually the third time I've seen him. So I like discovered him years ago when, you know, before he got big. And so I've seen him in Milwaukee, and then he's come to Rockford before. We had so much fun. It was, you said the Metro Center, it reminded me.
He was here the same night that Brad Williams was here. We had one at the PAC, the Coronado Performing Arts Center.
Yeah,
Colorado Performing Arts Center. And then we had Nate Bargatze at the
BMO.
BMO, yeah, Big Orange Box. It's easier that way. The Bob. Anyway, we had them both here on the same night, and they both sold out. But I had a feeling Brad Williams would have sold out at the Metro, at the, BMO.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Yeah.
cool. In fact,
Yeah.
Greg, we interviewed the guy that had put that together. Do you remember that?
We did. We had the ASM
Yes,
services
yes.
that manages all of that.
Yeah, but
And
I'm a huge Nate Bargatze fan. You know what I love so much about him? He's clean.
yeah,
That's what
Mhm.
I like about him. I don't like comedians that have to throw out F-bombs and all that. Okay, a well-placed F-bomb every once in a while. I'm not going to do it, but that's fine, but when you're over the top and every third word, no, I'm done. Click.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah. And he's relatable too. I mean, he talks about like his marriage and his teenage daughter and it's just so funny because I think he's in his 40s and I'm in my late 30s, but it's
38.
just so relatable. It's so funny to me. So I went with one of my best friends and we had such a good time.
Yeah,
probably
that is so cool. And what I love about him the most, sorry, Greg, I'm stepping on you here, is his delivery. He's just so
Yes.
deadpan. Yeah,
Yes.
it just
He nails it
out of
every time
nowhere.
with his accent and he doesn't talk super fast and he kind of makes fun of himself and he's
Yeah.
just so good.
Self-deprecating humor is so good. It's so
Yeah.
funny. And you can only do it if you have confidence.
Yeah.
You can't say, yeah, I'm kind of stupid. Well, my IQ is 82. So really, that's true. I am stupid. Nobody wants to know that your IQ is 82. But if you
Yeah.
got a 120 IQ or something like that, you can say, well, my calorie intake is higher than my IQ. Whatever. Actually, that's a bad example. My calorie intake in one meal is about 1,000 or
I was
12,000.
like, wow.
I don't know. Whatever.
we don't want to know what Tom's eating. We just don't. We don't need to know what Tom's eating.
I had an
Well-
egg. I had a fried egg sandwich. My wife made me a fried egg sandwich with
Mm.
cheese and toast, and she put barbecue sauce on. Don't tell her I hate barbecue sauce on a sandwich unless it's like a pulled pork. But so she goes, I want to give it some flavor. Yeah, thanks.
I don't think I'd like that.
she's
It
trying.
was good. It was
She's
actually
trying.
very good. I have to admit it was very good. And she also made me a cup of coffee in my San Diego cup. Greatest place on earth, San Diego. But
All right, I think we probably need to let you go. We went way longer than I thought we were going to go.
this was fun.
I'm sure you got clients to get to because that's the kind of gal you are.
I actually do. I have an appointment after that. It's just over FaceTime, but yeah, I'm kind of always working, but thankfully I love my job, so it's fun.
And it's obvious
That's
that
good.
you love your job. You do it
And
excellent.
it's
excellent.
obvious because you're good at it.
Thank
That's
you.
good.
Much
Thank you.
appreciated the years of business we've done together and the years ahead that we have to do more business together too. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate you, Greg.
all
Did
right.
we ask the question or did I miss it? What charity are you sponsoring? Oh, you can't say.
TBD.
To be determined. Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. You were thinking possibly. Okay, I got
We're
it.
recruiting.
Right over my head. Took a little off the top, as you can see.
It'll
Wow.
depend on who gets recruited. All right, Jess. You
Okay.
have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Good seeing you both. I'll talk to you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
We need to get to our big number of the week. And Tom, I shut your screen off on accident and turn it back on again. There we go. Our big number of the week this week, 150,000. And the answer, is it planets or pilots? You sent me your answer, Tom.
I did.
I'm going to take a look here real quick here. All right. Back to caption. Back to the current score. Tom got the point last week. This week it's planets or pilots. All right. Make sure I get this right. Okay. Did I lose you again? I lost Tom again. Come back on, Tom. Parades are fun. Planetary parades are out of this world fun. Get ready to cheer on Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune on February 28th. 1 week from today, as we record this, 1 week from today, the planetary parade happens when the 6 planets will appear to all align in the sky. Most of the planets will be visible to the naked eye. However, you'll need binoculars or a telescope to see Neptune and Uranus. It's a parade where the tall guy in the front, aka Tom, can't get in the way because it's in the sky. I'm taking the point this time, Tom. I'm taking the point. Athletes are not the only ones who train for the Olympics. Much of the action is being caught by drones at the current Olympics. Each of these drones is worth about $150,000, and they're piloted by experts using only a joystick to capture every twist and turn. It's pretty stinking amazing. Yanis Exarchos is the CEO of Olympic Broadcasting Services. He tells the Wall Street Journal that some pilots that are flying these drones at the Olympics are former Olympians themselves. And the drone work that we're seeing on TV that they're doing is so crazy awesome. Are you as impressed with the drones on the Olympic coverage as I am, Tom?
Okay, so I just got back. Fire started again. It was just crazy. I don't know what's going on with this stupid computer.
Reboot.
So I missed most of what you said. I don't even know. Oh, I lost. Dang it.
I'm taking the point. Yes. The drones,
pilots.
The drones that are being flown at the Olympics.
Okay.
Many of them are worth $150,000.
Wow.
Yeah. These are high tech, high cost drones.
I would have thought drones would have been the category there. Not
Drone
pilots, but hey.
Drone pilots are being piloted. These drones are being piloted by experts. Most of them using only a joystick to capture every twist and turn of. These,
oh no, that's yes, I am absolutely impressed by what drones can do. That's amazing.
It's
that's
awesome.
Amazing.
Some of the drone pilots are former Olympians themselves. How cool is that?
So that's okay. So how do you have a screen there that you're watching? Because how do you know to turn the angle like this to catch?
I think what's most impressive. There's the two things that have caught my eye the most. One is the downhill skiing where they have to avoid the chair lifts.
Yeah.
But I gotta imagine some of these drones have nailed some of these chair lifts and the seats and stuff at some point. But even more impressive are the drones that are following the bobsled teams going down that chute, because you know that they're in this tube. I mean, they gotta watch out for all kinds of things above them. They can't go high.
Oh, yeah, right.
It's amazing.
And how does it not lose connection when it goes in a tube?
It's amazing. It's absolutely awesome what they're doing with these drones.
That is crazy.
And there's the future of Olympics, all sports coverage. We need now. They've in the NFL. They've had, I think they call them the spider cams that come down from the wires, and they have those in most of these, in almost all NFL games. Will those become obsolete now because of drones? Kind of.
Very possibly. I've actually, that's interesting.
I really have been wondering and would love to have a game where the majority of the camera work is above and behind the offense to watch everything happen in front of them. That's the coverage I like the most. Watching from the side, it's fine. I mean, that's what we're all used to. But when you're above and behind the offense, and you can see the routes of the wide receivers and the blocking schemes that actually take place. Mm-hmm. That's the part of football that I'm like, that's cool. That shows me why the play worked or didn't work. Seeing it from above. So
technology is both scary and awesome, both at the same time. It's
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Quick shout out. NAMI trivia is this Thursday.
It is this Thursday. Yes.
And InCrowd 815 Networking Group is not having a normal networking group meeting this month. Instead, we're supporting NAMI by being at this trivia event at Park Lanes Thursday night. If you don't have a team, I believe there's still at least one or two InCrowd teams that are looking for players. Go to the InCrowd 815 Networking Group Facebook page, post on there and ask if you're looking for a team. Our team is full. The team that I signed up, we have a full team, and I want to. Where'd you go here, buddy? Chase Away the Winter Blues trivia series at Park Lanes. I want to shout out this morning. Remember Derek and Vanessa from Hope for All?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
They joined my team.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Derek, Vanessa, Chris, Jake, Darian, and myself are all on Team In Crowd 815, at least Team 1 of In Crowd 815. We might have 2 or 3 teams that are participating in this event Thursday night. The contest starts at 6, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so if you do want to come to Park Lanes and you're not on a team, if you want to come at 5:30 and network a little bit, you get a chance to meet some folks. But when the contest starts, we're going to be doing all trivia. And each team can consist of only 6 people maximum.
Okay, so here's the deal with Danielle. I texted her the other day, and she said right now she believes she has 9 teams, hoping for 11. I will be prepared for 14, which means 12 for sure, because I love the round number thing. 12 is a good number, 10 is a good number, 11 drives me nuts, 9 drives me nuts, so I'm hoping for 11 or 12. I mean 10 or 12. I don't know why that is. It doesn't make any sense.
Part of your
my brain works. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. And I'll just tell you, without giving anything away, all of the music will be February songs. I hope that. Well, I probably shouldn't say that because, yeah. But there's such a wide range. It goes from the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, all February songs. So you could probably study up on your February songs. Don't do that, please. And don't anybody else out there listening do that. Please don't do that. Yeah. But round number 3 is going to be interesting. I have every event in February covered with a question.
Ooh,
all of the significant events. Now, there are a lot of significant events, but I have 7 of them covered, and the last question is a NAMI question. I needed to have, because we're doing NAMI in February. And it's the last one of the month, so it's our 8th question. So first round is general trivia. Last round is I can't tell you what the last round is. It's going to be really, really cool. I think you're gonna like it.
Thursday night.
It's going to be fairly easy as well. Yeah, Thursday Park Lane starts at 6. There'll be food. By the way, the food there, limited menu, very good food. You'll go over to the bowling alley side and you'll order your food. Or you can order it at the bar. They'll take it over there and then they'll call it out. Somebody will come over and say, okay, I got a cheeseburger with fries with a side order of coleslaw. And then I'll either get on the mic and say, table 9.
How did you know my order? That's my order right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Table 9, looking for table 9. They'll raise their hand and boom. It's a good little operation that they've got there. The place is perfect because it's big enough to house 10 to 12 teams and still intimate enough to where I don't have to scream and I don't have to, it's really awesome.
Good setup. It's a good setup.
It is a really good setup. It is. So we should be good. We should have a lot of fun. I will have centerpieces on the table, some candy and everything else. So we are going to have some fun. Park
Lanes, Loves Park this Thursday night, February 26th.
Yep.
Thursday the 26th. We're less than a month away from our masked karaoke trivia contest. Again, a big time thank you to Jess Rielly for sponsoring our $1,000 trivia prize this time. We also have a $1,000 karaoke winner prize thanks to Advice Marketing. And of course, the grand prize for Medicare 411 has grown. Last time it was $5,000. This time we are at $7,000 for the grand prize winning teams chosen not for profit. Will it be yours? Find out March 19th at Tabala. Next week on the show, we're going to talk with Gemini Solar. They're going to be the host of our March In Crowd 815 networking group meeting. Gemini Solar, along with the XL Center, which is part of Goodwill Industries. So I believe we'll have Anne-Marie and Moon on the show next week to talk about that. And then our grand prize sponsor, Tracy Foltz from Medicare 411, also scheduled to join us on next week's show.
All right. That sounds good. I've got my trivia quiz probably halfway done. At least halfway. I've got my final round done already. It's going to be a common theme, common denominator round. That's going to be the extra 12 points. So that's going to be huge. Nail the common denominator and you're in good shape.
That's going to be real important for you. Good,
Yeah.
Good luck, everybody. Good luck.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week, every single day. We'll try to do the same and meet you back here next week for another In Crowd 815 podcast. Tom, have a great rest of your day, buddy. Oh, I'm headed to the Tinker Swiss Cottage attic sale. They're doing an attic sale today.
Really?
Well, 330 on Kent Street.
I already have an attic. I don't know if I bought one where I would put it.
Well, you're missing out then. Visit the barn at Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum for a rummage sale. All the items there have been donated, or they're old like educational pieces that no longer serve the programming of Tinker Swiss Cottage. Nothing from the Tinker or Door family will be sold at this sale. This is not selling stuff off from the cottage itself. These are donated items.
I wanted that old coffee grinder on the shelf in the great room.
No. These are donated items to help fundraise for Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum Gardens.
What time is that?
That's going on 10 till 3:30. So it's starting off here in just a little bit as we sign off on this show.
All right. Sounds good. When you going?
I'm supposed to be there by noon to help. I'm on the board.
You're on the board. Okay. I'm carless right now. By the way, did I tell you I took my Jeep in last week?
You did.
Yeah.
You did. Bye-bye, Jeep.
I almost cried.
It's been real. It's been fun. Sometimes it's been real fun.
Yeah. By the way, Snoopy says hi, and he's mad that you haven't featured him the last couple of weeks. I keep having to remind you. So
all right. We'll have to get back
What's that,
on
boy? Yeah, I know he can be a jerk. It's okay. It's okay. I love you, buddy.
Have a good one. See you later.
I will see you Wednesday.
815